Hi guys, I'm here with another tutorial today. This one's going to be quite a short one about applying texture variations. So there was a question on Discord about how to apply variations texture variations when you want there to sometimes be one texture everywhere on a pet, and other times you might want one or two different textures in different parts of the pet. We're going to be working with my mini-she file, which I've already set up with a bunch of variations. And specifically what I've done is I've created variations that have points like this. If I show you in the game, you'll see these are pointed. And they just come out with random point options and body color options. And if I carry on doing this for a little while, I will eventually find some that are solid because the points and the body match up. But I might be here for quite a while doing this. All right, there's one that I think is solid. Yeah, no, actually it's not quite solid. Oh, it's a little trickster. How cute. Okay. Anyway, I think you guys get the idea. I think this one's actually 55 body with 95 on the tail and legs. So it's a subtle difference, but it is actually still pointed. But you can get, just by chance, a cat that is entirely solid. And what I want to do with my textures is have the same possibilities, the same combination possibilities, but I want them to be independent of the color. So sometimes I want the cat to have the same texture all over, and sometimes I want the points and the body to have different textures. I've already set up my file ready to show you how to do this, but I'm just going to talk you through how you would do the same. So the first thing you're going to need to do is identify where your textures are being used. So in the default Oshi, if you were to load up the breed file, you'll find that it uses the number 1 texture that's here on all the body, but not the cheeks and not the head, sorry. And then it uses this one on the head. So what I've done is consolidated that. So I've now made everywhere where on this cat is cream be the number 1 texture, which I can show you by doing this. There you go, show texture unchanged. And then I have made the number 3 texture be everywhere that I have the point color. And you'll notice that here I actually have used the same texture. It's model 2 in both cases. It doesn't matter because I'm going to change that in a second. If I open the latest version in Lines Pro and just scroll down to my texture list, now I can add variations to my texture list. So you see I've already labeled this and it's ready to go. I have the body color here and I have the point color, the body texture here and the point texture here. And you set up variations under textures just the same as you do everywhere else. So this is our number 1. And this is basically, sorry, not to be a hash. So this basically is going to be our most basic option, which is just transparent model 2 in both positions. So this is going to look like all the cats that I just showed you. Our next variation, number 2, is still going to be model 2, just as it is here, but I'm going to make it a little bit transparent by setting the transparency to 105, and I'm going to do that with both my areas. So both the body texture and the point texture is going to have transparency of 105. But of course what I can also do, and I'm going to do that now, is set it up so that one of them has transparency 105 but the other one doesn't. There we go. And if I save this and we have a look at what that is like, see, this is one that has the body but not the points. This one, I think, has the body. Actually quite hard to see sometimes. This one has the body. Yeah, that one has it everywhere. And hopefully you get the idea from that. Now, of course, I can also have different textures. So I'm going to add a version. Just copy this. I'll add a version where instead of model 2, I'm using here 3, and I want this to just be, first of all, just color it the same as the bowl, and then I'm going to do one with transparency of 105. Then I'm going to do one with transparency of 45. No. Okay, so I've added a bunch of different combinations of textures, and you can now see that I have this really long texture list with all these variations in it. And really the key to getting it to all work is just making sure that you plan ahead, think about where you plan to put different textures, and just make sure that you divide up the cat into those sections and place textures as placeholders there. So as you can see, in this case, I just had to deal with 2 textures. I placed mottled 2 as placeholders there, and then I could replace them and have all these different variations. And of course, if I wanted to, I could organize these in such a way that I could actually link them to the different variations and make it so that they show up only for specific ones. But I don't want to do that for this particular hex. I just want them to be completely random, to have lots and lots of different variants coming out of the adoption center. If I show you now, you really can get so many different options now. And very rarely you might get one that just is solid, but it's going to be incredibly rare now. quite pretty. Okay, and I have also set up the breeding, hopefully, so that everything inherits correctly, but you guys will hopefully tell me if that isn't the case. And I've also adjusted the scales a little bit because the original Minishi was really intended as a hexing base, not as a breeding override. So it doesn't breed 100% true because there's a limit on how small you can scale things down. But this one should breed completely true. And yeah, there's lots of different variations. I'll get that ready now to put up on Shadow Finder for you guys, and I'm actually going to carry on recording and do a second tutorial which will be about converting to different game versions. So I'll see you in that one. Bye!